Hello everyone, welcome to my class. Today after a long time I have decided to make one tutorial on the topic Indus Valley Civilization. Indus Valley Civilization, which is also known as Harappan Civilization. So during my school days also could not make me understand about this topic. So when now I am a teacher, I decided to go through different books and to make this topic more and more simpler. So that I was doing it from last 3 days. I was referring different books in order to make a study for the students very easy. Reference from different books. Okay, so let's start our today's class. So Indus Valley Civilization. Indus Valley Civilization. I have prepared all the notes properly, and accordingly I am going to make you each and every topics clear through the slides and all. Okay, so Indus Valley Civilization or Harappan Civilization, so both are same. So first of all we need to understand about what is mean by civilization. So you can see the slide over here. What is mean by civilization? Civilization may be defined as an advanced stage of human development. Advanced stage of human development. When a human being reaches to the developed stage, that is known as civilization. Now one more definition is given over here. You can just see the slide. Civilization is a progressive phase of all-round development of people living within a given territory. So when we are studying about Indus Valley Civilization, we need to understand about the term civilization. The word term is derived from the word civilis. Okay, city state. So now next one is, what are some of the important features of civilization? When we go through these features, we'll come to understand about the real meaning of civilization. So you can see over here one by one. Features of civilization. Number one, favorable climate and availability of water. Number two, availability of tools. Number three, domestication of animals. Number four, development of towns and cities. Number five, surplus food production, and many more are there. So hope you are trying to get to my point. So directly I am not jumping into the topic of this chapter, Indus Valley Civilization. This tutorial, this video is going to be very interesting. So please have patience, my dear viewers, and watch this video till the end. It's an earnest request from me. So now, apart from the features, we need to understand, was Indus Valley the only civilization? The answer is no. So along with this, 4 civilizations were there, including Indus Valley Civilization. So once again you can see over here, the first one is Mesopotamian civilization, which was discovered on the banks of river Euphrates, that is Tigris and Euphrates river. Then number 2 is Indus Valley Civilization, which was discovered on the banks of river Indus. Okay, number 3, Egyptian civilization, which was found on the banks of river Nile. Okay, and number 4 is Chinese civilization, which was discovered or on the banks of river Huanghe and Yangtze river. So you can see here what is common in all these 4 civilization. River is very important. That means we cannot live far away from the water bodies. So everywhere, wherever we live, rivers are always there, and rivers plays a very important role in the human development. Okay, so hope you all have understood this part. Now let us now discuss about Indus Valley Civilization. And I'll also tell you about why it is called Indus Valley Civilization, what is all about Harappan Civilization. So all this, the thing we are going to discuss today in this video. Now first one is discovery. How Indus Valley was discovered. How Indus Valley was discovered. You can see here, Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. Director General of Archaeological Survey of India, his name was Sir John Marshall, led his team to discover the Harappan civilization. He led the team to discover the Harappan civilization. Okay, so in 1921, Dayaram Sani, an Indian officer in the Archaeological Survey of India, okay, dug and explored the ruins in Harappa. He was the one to dig the ruins of Harappa in 1921. So just remember two dates. 1921, Dayaram Sani. Okay, Dayaram Sani, he was the one to explore the ruins of Harappa. Okay, in 1922, another great man, he was also working under Archaeological Survey of India. His name was R.D. Banerjee, also known as Rakhal Das Banerjee. Rakhal Das Banerjee discovered Mohenjo-daro. When he was excavating mound, he found like a stupa type of thing, and he was discovering it, he was excavating, he thought that this might be a Buddhist stupa and all, but while excavating and digging, he found the entire civilization, which is also referred to as Mohenjo-daro. The meaning of Mohenjo-daro is mound of dead. Mound of dead. What is the meaning of Mohenjo-daro? Mound of dead. Okay. Now the most important thing, the age of the civilization or the period of Harappan civilization. So I have different books, different dates are there. So after going through all the books, I have come to conclusion. You can see here 3: early Harappan stage, mature Harappan stage, and later Harappan stage. Okay, early Harappan stage starts from 1300 BCE to 2600 BCE, mature phase from 2600 BCE to 1900 BCE, and the third one is later Harappan stage, that is 1900 BC to 1600 BCE. So these were the 3 stages of that civilization. So after going through these 3 civilizations, taking all these stages into consideration, archaeologists have identified the period between one date. You can see here one date is been identified, 3250 BC, 3250 BC to 2715 BCE as the one during which the Indus Valley civilization flourished. So this is the date during which the Indus Valley civilization flourished. Okay, now apart from one more thing is there, I am going to explain you that also. So apart from these dates, my dear, one more scientific process is there, that is known radiocarbon dating. So this date has come up, like the date as found through radiocarbon dating is 2500 BCE to 1700 BCE. So you might want to know what is mean by radiocarbon dating. So I have written it over here. Radiocarbon dating is a method that provides objective age estimate for carbon based materials that originated from living organisms. So this is the process. This is the process through which age of a person can be found. Age of a person can be found. Okay, so as per the radiocarbon dating, the exact date we cannot say, but through this we can know that 2500 BCE to 1700 BCE was the one found through radiocarbon dating. Okay, now let us now discuss about most of the important centers, or we can say that who gave the name Harappan civilization or the Indus Valley civilization. Naming, how the name was decided for this great civilization. So name of the civilization. So as most of the early discoveries of the centers of the civilizations like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Channu-daro and others were found to be located along the Indus and its tributaries, that is why the archaeologists decided to give it a name Indus Valley civilization. They decided to give it a name Indus Valley. So why is Harappan civilization also known as Indus Valley civilization? Because most of this most of these civilizations were excavated on the banks of river Indus. That is why it came to be known as Indus Valley civilization. Okay. Now later on more and more explorations were done. Later on more and more explorations were done. Many other towns and cities were excavated, okay, far away from the Indus Valley. Okay, and then the archaeologists thought that it is not appropriate to call the entire civilization as the Indus Valley civilization. So they now decided to rename it after Harappa, which was the first excavation done, Harappa. So on the name of the civilization, Harappa was named. Okay, so later on still the excavation process is going on, still it is going on. So it was decided by archaeologists that we should rename it as Harappan civilization. Why? One of the most important and earliest discovered centers, because Harappa was the earliest discovered centers in the entire civilization. Okay, hope you are getting my point. Now origin, who were these people? How and from where did they come? So different scholars, they have given different opinions regarding Harappan peoples. The exact idea we don't have. So all these things are based on the sources which we have been studying for long. So according to some of the historians, they think that this is the responsible. That means like Dravidians were the one responsible for creating this civilization. Dravidians. So they think that Dravidians were the one who were the creators of this civilization. Now there is one other group of historians, other group of scholars. They are of the opinion that these people were Sumerians, because there is a good resemblance between Sumerians, the people of Sumeria, and the Indus Valley. There is a good deal of resemblance. There is a resemblance from both these people, Sumerians as well as the Indus Valley people. So my dear, it is not clear that who these people were, but still we have to come to a conclusion from where did these people come. So another group of scholars again are of the opinion, they suggested that Aryans did not migrate from other places. They were the early creators of the civilization. So Aryans were the one who were already there. They did not come from anywhere, because when we study about the Aryans, we study that they came from Central Asia, they migrated from other parts of the country. But these scholars were of the opinion that Aryans were already there. So they give credit to the Aryans. They were the early creators of Harappan civilization. Okay, but still there is no unanimous opinion formed by the scholars that what exactly should be decided regarding the origin of the Harappan peoples. So let it be in mystery. Okay, now we'll discuss about the extent of Harappan civilization. So you can see the map in my background. I think it is clear to you all. So accordingly I am going to explain you about the map. So you can see here in the map, if you see there, square block is there, that is known as present day Baroda. Rupar is there, Harappan site. Black dots are all Harappan sites, and some of the major sites are surrounded by red mark. Black dots surrounded by red mark. Okay, so that we'll discuss one by one. Now, how long, till which places the Harappan civilization continues or exists? So it is mentioned the whole area of the, you can see the map. Through this map you can understand the whole entire extent of the Harappan civilization. Okay, the whole area of Harappan civilization covering about 12,99,600 square kilometer. 12,99,600 square kilometers. This is the area which covers the entire civilizations, and within this civilization small civilizations are also there, and all together this civilization is known as Indus Valley civilization or the Harappan civilization. Now let me clear you, my dear, presently most of the important prime centers of this civilization, prime centers of these civilizations, okay, including Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Chanhu-daro, okay, and Sukte-Dondor are in Pakistan. These 4 civilizations are in Pakistan, because when this excavation process started, at that time India was not partitioned. So after the partition, this site has fallen on other side, okay. So now apart from this, like some of the centers of Harappan civilization still is in our territory, also located in India. Important excavated sites are in Pakistan, but apart from that, many are there in India also, like you can see here. Centers like Banawali in Haryana, Kalibagan in Rajasthan, Alamgirpur in Uttar Pradesh, Rupar in Punjab. Okay, now you can just you can see the dots on the map, okay, and the mark which I am trying to explain you through it. Now apart from this, when more and more excavations were done, many more excavations were done, okay, and in Gujarat, many more civilizations were found, like Lothal is there, okay, you can see the map, okay, maps is in the background. Lothal is there, Rangpur is there, Gola is there, Dhora is there, Rasdui is there, and one more is there, that is Dholavira is there. Dholavira is in Gujarat, okay, and all these sites whichever we discovered, whichever we are discussing, is all in Gujarat. Okay, so this is all about some of the extent of Harappan civilization as per the map given on the board, and few more are there. You can see here Manda, it has extend up to Manda, that is in Jammu Kashmir. And if you come to Gujarat side, if you come down to Gujarat side, you can see Rangpur is there, Lothal is there, Rosdi is there, okay, Dwarika is there, Surkatado is there, Dholavira, just little bit on the red mark, you can see red mark, Dholavira is there. So all these are, my dear, the civilization of a great extent, okay. So you can see here, that means half part of the civilization lies in India and other part lies in Pakistan. Hope you are understanding what I am trying to say. Okay children, so this is all about the Indus Valley civilization, the origin, the discovery, the extent and all. The areas will keep on increasing and increasing. Still the excavation process is going on. Still archaeological department of both the countries, on the other side they are excavating, in India our archaeological department is excavating. So when this excavation process will be complete, we'll come to know more about the Harappan civilization. Still we don't have a proper idea about the Harappan civilization, because till now we could not decipher the scripts or the written things on the seals whichever were discovered by the excavators. So once we understand about that, it will help us to know more about the Harappan civilization. Okay, now let us start. This video is going to be a little bit long. In the beginning only I told you, please have patience and please watch it till the end. Okay, now the features of Harappan civilization. So let us now discuss about the features. So you know that there one video will be played on the background, my dear. So this video is actually I have taken permission from the creator of this video. Okay, so I have taken the permission, and the original video link is given in the description. If you want, you can go through that also, just to make you understand. Now the feature of Harappan civilization, the most important feature of Harappan civilization was urban planning, town planning. We live in cities and towns and we feel proud, oh, we live in cities and towns. But if you study the urban planning of Harappan civilization, you will feel same on you and same on us, that we not even 5% we follow the system they followed during that civilization, my dear. It was just a great civilization, my dear. Okay, now let me tell you, the entire city, Harappan city or the Indus Valley, was divided into two parts. The upper part was known as the citadel, okay, and the lower part was the area where the people, common people, used to live. And the high raised platform, which was known as citadel, my dear, were inhabited by the politicians, okay, the king or the priest lived in the higher part, and the lower part lower part was inhabited by the common people like you and me. Okay, so the next one is that you can see that it is concluded. So many of the archaeologists, they had come to conclusion that this high raised platform, which is known as citadel, were inhabited by political authority. Political, that means the ruling class were the one, the priestly class were the one who lived in that area. Okay, and the rest of the population of that civilization lived in the lower town. Lived in the lower town. You can see the background video. Okay, lower town. These are the areas, lower town videos. Okay, so before I complete this, I'm going to show you the entire video. Okay, and through this you will come to know that this is Mohenjo-daro. Okay, this is Mohenjo-daro. You can see the video. So once you enter through the gate, you will see the priest king welcoming the visitors. This picture you might have seen. These pictures you might have seen in books also. Okay, so when you enter, this all people are tourists. They have come. They see the mound or the Buddhist stupa. Okay, raised platform. It is mentioned over there, Buddhist stupa. Okay, now the next one is the Great Bath. Later on I am going to explain you about that also. You can see the Great Bath. The Great Bath which was used for religious performances and all. Isn't it? You can see Great Bath. So these are the areas. Drains covered with bricks. Drains covered with bricks and all. Drains covered with bricks. Narrow lanes. It is such a proper planning, we can say, that the people had. They had a good civic sense also. Narrow lanes are there. Narrow lanes are there. You can see these are the areas. Still the excavation process is going on. Large areas are there. This is actually Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro, that is in Pakistan. Well, you can see the picture of well also. Every houses had well. Every houses had well. Each and every houses they had well. And this is a lower town area. You can see a lower town area. These are the sides of the houses. This is the area, lower area. Lower area. Just have around lower area. Okay, see, this excavation process still going on. Okay, so as you have seen in the video, so that is just a short video. I just borrowed or took permission from the main creator of that video. So as I told you, the rest of the population lived in the lower town. Okay, a small grid patterns were there. Small grid pattern divided into cities, into a number of rectangular blocks. Rectangular blocks were there. Okay, and every planning was done in such a way that streets divided all the blocks properly. Okay, and each blocks again were further divided into number of lanes. Small lanes were there. Okay, all the roads and streets had a straight, and whichever roads were connected, they were in a right angle. Okay, and the corner of the roads were curved. Corners of the roads were curved so that heavy bullock carts can easily take a turn from that side. Okay, then the roads were paved properly by burned bricks. Roads were properly paved by burned bricks. Okay, and the houses whichever were built were not allowed to encroach on the road. Like in our areas we see, roads are just standing, houses are, buildings are standing just near to the road, as if it is standing on the road only. So that is due to weak administration. Okay, so planning has to be done so that the roads should be clear, houses should be little bit apart from the roadside, highways and all. Okay, and it said houses were not allowed to encroach upon the roads. Okay, now let us discuss about buildings and houses. What type of buildings were there? Houses were buildings were of as I told you, at the upper level citadel, the buildings were there. Rich people, the priest or the king, they lived over there. In the lower side, lower areas, houses were two-storied. Two-storied houses were there. Okay, stairs were there, roofs were made of wood and all. Okay, and every houses had a courtyard. Courtyards were there, and it included toilets were there, kitchens were there, and toilets and kitchens water directly were connected to the main drains which was made on the other side of the road. Okay, just beside your houses, drains, main drains were there, and the house drains were connected to the main drains, and the drains were covered with slabs and all. Okay, brick slabs or stone slabs were there, it covered. That shows that the people were very much concerned about health and hygiene. Okay, large houses had many rooms provided with wells and tanks. Wells were there, tanks were there. Okay, so among the lower population, okay, rest of the population with this lower area, there are also categories. Rich people also were there, poor people also were there, they lived. Okay, so each houses was constructed with doors, definitely windows, and the ventilators. Well ventilated houses were there with the houses. Okay, doors and windows open on the main road side. Doors and windows open on the street side and not on the main road. Street side, not on the main road. Okay, suppose this is the road, not on the road side the door is opening, but on the other side. Okay, doors were opening. So some of the houses were probably multi-storied also, as I told you, multi-storied, 1, 2, 3 storied. Okay, staircases were there, building to reach to the first storied and the second storied. Okay, and the roofs were very, very solid, and roofs were flat. The entrance of the houses was from the narrow lanes. It's in every houses narrow lanes were there, and from there they can enter into the houses. Okay, houses were of good quality. So apart from that, whenever we talk about houses, then water supply, waters were provided through wells. Okay, waters were provided to wells and all. It's in every houses had wells of their own. Then houses had a horizontal and vertical drains, and all those drains. We're talking about drainage system. Drainage system was so good, my dear. Today if you see, check around, the open drains are there. In spite of water being flown in the drains, garbages are dumped over there. Okay, we don't have a proper civic sense also. Okay, so beneath the street, the lanes of the city, there was a main drain, approximately 1 to 2 feet of depth. 1 to 2 feet of depth the drains were there, and at regular intervals main holes were there, main hole, so that a person can enter into the hole. And clean from time to time. So drainage system was there. Okay, the floors of the kitchen were tilted. Bathroom floors were also tilted, so that water can easily slope and flow towards the main drain situated on the side of the streets and all. So that way this type of drains were made. Okay, so and one more thing, most important thing, that drains were properly covered. Most important unique feature of the drainage system was that or the town planning of Harappan civilization was that it was properly covered. So it gives us an idea that the people of the Harappan civilization paid greater attention to sanitation and health. They were very much concerned regarding health and sanitation. This proves that people were so much concerned regarding health and sanitation. Okay, children, so this is all about drainage systems and all. Now next is Great Bath. As I already showed you the video also, once again I am going to show you the Great Bath. You can see on the background Great Bath. Okay, it is one of the largest. Great Bath is one of the largest and the most important public buildings of Mohenjo-daro. Archaeologists has described this as a place where religious functions were performed. This was built for religious purposes. People used to have a holy bath, or people during once in a year they used to go for a holy bath, and in a public they used to have a bath. Okay, now you can see the structure of the Great Bath. It is overall dimension of bath was 180 feet. by 108 feet. 180 by 108 feet. The bathing pool was 39 feet by 23 feet. 39 feet by 23 feet with 8 feet of depth. 8 feet of depth. There was a galleries and rooms on all sides of the bathing pool. On the all sides of the bathing pool, rooms were there, so that after getting a bath you can go change over there, or you can stay over there also. Okay. So scholars generally, the people who studied deeply regarding Great Bath, what actually is that? So they were of the opinion that mostly kings and the priests performed religious bathing, ritual bathing in that bath, Great Bath. Kings and the priests, they perform rituals, let us say rituals bathing in that Great Bath. It was like a swimming pool, and outlet was also very good, that water every time used to flow out, and the fresh water was provided in the Great Bath from the well which was situated little bit out of that area. Okay, so how was the floor made? Floor of the Great Bath was made of burned bricks laid on edge. Okay, the walls of the pools were watertight. Walls of the pools were completely watertight, and it was made of mortar and bitumen. The tank was fed with water from a large well situated in the same complex, little bit near only, the same complex was there. There a large well was there, and water was supplied through that large well. Okay, and there was also a drain, big drain for the discharge of water for periodical cleaning. From time to time cleaning was done. From time to time cleaning was done. Okay, so one of the great person, Dr. R.K. Mukherjee aptly said that the construction of such a swimming bath reflects great credit, the engineering of those days. Bath reflect great credit of the engineering of those days. Just imagine the engineers of those time, how properly it was engineered, and that is just an example for us even today. Okay, so this is one of the great artistic place of great Indus Valley civilization. So we discussed about dwelling houses, we discussed about drainage system, Great Bath. Okay, and then let us now discuss about three more are there. In short, I am going to complete it. Now next one we have is assembly hall. Even assembly hall, that means excavations were also done through which it was found that large pillars, okay, it was excavated in Mohenjo-daro. Large pillars were there, and there existed a big hall, and that size of the hall was 24 meters square. Okay, and it had 20 massive pillars, 20 tall pillars were there. It definitely will suggest that that place was used for some assembly or sabha was conducted, meetings were conducted by the ruler, or some people gathered over there to discuss about the pros and cons of the problems being faced by the people of Harappa. Okay, and everywhere walls were there, 4 rows, that means these 20 pillars, 4 rows each. Okay, so now the archaeologists, because we have to depend upon the opinion of the archaeologists, what is their opinion. So archaeologists think that it might have been the place where people gathered to discuss some important matters pertaining to the administration of the town. So regarding administration, they might have used as a discussion place. Okay, that was assembly hall. We cannot have a proper picture of the assembly hall, but still you can have an idea. Okay, now the next one is a great granary. Great granary, a place where grains were stored. It was also built at the elevated place where during a flood also that areas can be safe from the water of the flood. Okay, so granaries were found at 4 different sites, in different 4 sites: Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal and Kalibangan. These were the places where great granaries were found. At Mohenjo-daro, it measured the size 45.71 meter to 15.23 meter. That was the size of the granary. At Harappa, size was 15.23 meter to 6.09 meter. Okay, and definitely granaries were obviously used for storage of food crops. So whenever there is a surplus crops, we keep for future. So same way they also used to keep, they used to store food grains in the great granaries. Okay, great granaries. Now the next one is dockyard. Even a dockyard has been excavated. Dockyard. So definitely that is a place where ships come and station over there, harbor over there. Okay, and from there goods and services are provided. So this shows that, my dear, this name of this dockyard is Lothal. Okay, Lothal dockyard. So dockyard which was excavated at Lothal, okay, was discovered in the year 1954. Okay, is a proof of long distance trade. Long distance trade also was there. Connection of Indus Valley had a good trading relations with Mesopotamia and Egypt. Okay, so this proves that Indus Valley civilization had a long distance trade with Mesopotamia as well as Egypt. Okay, so this is what I wanted to teach you through this video, my dear. Hope you might have understood it. Little bit of flaws you might have found it. So if there is any flaws in this video, you can comment it in the comment box. Hope you will like it also. I am open to criticism also, and most probably you might have liked this video. In the next video, I'll explain you about the economic life of the Indus Valley people, economic life, social life, religious life, and the most important thing, how did this great civilization come to an end? That we'll discuss in the next video. So hope you all have understood and you all have liked this video. This video is not for a particular school or particular class. This is for everyone who wanted to know about the Harappan or the Indus Valley civilization. So if you have watched this video till the last, then it is very good for everyone. Thank you very much for watching this video till the last. So we'll meet again in the next tutorial. Till then, take care, stay safe. Bye bye.